Professor Vex-Thalan had dedicated 3 centuries of his existence to studying warfare across the galaxy. As the most respected military analyst at the Galactic Defense Institute on Proxima 7, he prided himself on understanding every combat technique, every strategic maneuver, every biological advantage that sentient species possessed. He had dissected the battle prowess of the Caraxian berserkers, analyzed the tactical genius of the Meloran hive queens, and documented the psychic warfare capabilities of the Etherian monks. But humans? Well, humans were just another entry in his extensive database. A relatively new species from a backwater planet called Earth. Sure, they had somehow managed to defeat the Zephyrian Empire in their first major galactic conflict, but Vex-Thalan attributed that to luck and primitive stubbornness rather than any real military capability. Today, we shall examine the tactical limitations of the human species, Vex-Thalan announced to his advanced combat analysis class, his 4 eyes gleaming with academic superiority. His voice carried the typical Chronaxian resonance that made everything sound like a funeral dirge. Despite their recent, fluke victory over the Zephyrians, humans remain fundamentally weak. Their bone density is laughably fragile, their muscle fibers are inefficient, and their reaction times are embarrassingly slow compared to proper warrior races. The amphitheater was packed with military cadets from 17 different species, all eager to learn from the galaxy's foremost expert on interspecies combat. In the third row, barely visible among the towering Drakmarian students and the crystalline-shelled Betrians, sat a small human female. Her name tag read Zara Wilde, and she appeared to be taking notes with the dedication of someone who actually cared about the lecture. Vex-Thalan continued his presentation, pulling up holographic displays of various alien physiques. Observe the magnificent bone structure of a Voltaran warrior. Notice how their calcium carbonate deposits create natural armor plating. Compare this to... He paused dramatically, switching to a human skeleton display. This pathetic framework that humans call bones. Why, I could probably snap a human arm with my bare manipulator appendages without even engaging my hydraulic enhancement systems. A few chuckles rippled through the audience. The professor basked in the attention, his ego inflating like a gas bag of Titan. "Professor," came a surprisingly calm voice from the third row. Zara had raised her hand, her expression politely curious. "Are you suggesting that structural analysis alone determines combat effectiveness?" Vex-Thalan's primary eyes focused on her while his secondary eyes continued scanning the class for more attentive students. "Indeed, young human. Your species lacks the fundamental physical advantages necessary for serious military engagement. Your homeworld of Earth is classified as a mere Class 7 environment. Hardly challenging compared to the hellish forge worlds that produce real warriors." "Class 7? Zara tilted her head slightly. "I think there might be an error in your database, Professor." "Impossible." Vex-Thalan's voice cracked slightly. "I have access to the most comprehensive xenobiological records in the galaxy." Zara smiled, and something about that expression made the Betrian student next to her unconsciously lean away. "Earth is classified as a Class 12 Deathworld, Professor. Would you like me to demonstrate why?" The amphitheater fell silent. Class 12 Deathworld? That was impossible. Those were the nightmare planets where evolution went completely insane, producing creatures so dangerous that even thinking about them required psychological counseling afterward. Vex-Thalan's academic pride kicked into overdrive. "Preposterous. Humans are clearly a docile species. Your bone density readings indicate structural weakness that would make you unsuitable for anything beyond basic labor tasks." "Our bone density?" Zara's smile widened, revealing those disturbing human teeth that were somehow designed for both vegetation and meat consumption. "Professor, human bones are actually denser than most species realize. We've just learned to be efficient with our structural engineering." "Nonsense. I challenge you to prove this ridiculous claim." Vex-Thalan extended his primary manipulator appendage, which was roughly equivalent to a human arm but reinforced with biotechnological enhancements that could crush standard Dura steel. I bet you cannot even damage my reinforced limb structure." The other students began murmuring excitedly. A few started recording with their personal devices, sensing that they were about to witness either a spectacular academic takedown or something far more interesting. Zara stood up slowly, which immediately made everyone realize just how tiny she was compared to the other species in the room. She barely reached the shoulder height of most students, and her build appeared almost fragile by galactic standards. "I really don't think this is a good idea, Professor," she said, her tone carrying what Vex-Thalan interpreted as fear but what anyone familiar with humans might have recognized as genuine concern. "Are you admitting defeat already?" Vex-Thalan's voice boomed through the amphitheater. "This perfectly demonstrates my point about human weakness." Zara shrugged, a gesture that looked deceptively casual. "Okay, but I'm not standing up for this." She remained seated in her chair, looking almost bored. Vex-Thalan approached confidently, extending his reinforced arm within her reach. The biotechnological enhancements in his limb could withstand approximately 12,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. No unaugmented biological entity in the known galaxy could damage it. "Go ahead," he said condescendingly. "Try your worst." Zara reached out with what appeared to be minimal effort. Her small human hand wrapped around Vex-Thalan's enhanced appendage with the gentleness of someone picking up a delicate flower. For exactly 1.7 seconds, nothing happened, then the sound echoed through the amphitheater like a gunshot. Crack! Vex-Thalan's reinforced limb, designed to withstand the crushing pressure of deep space construction work, snapped like a dry twig. The biotechnological enhancement system sparked and failed as his bone structure completely collapsed under what appeared to be the most casual grip in galactic history. The professor's scream could probably be heard on the next planet over. "Ah! My arm! My beautiful, enhanced arm!" Zara immediately released him and reached into her bag. "Oh no! I am so sorry, Professor. I have some painkillers if you need them." She pulled out a small white tablet. "This is just basic human medication. We call it aspirin." "Human medication?" Vex-Thalan was writhing on the floor, clutching his destroyed limb. "Are you trying to poison me?" "It's just for headaches and minor pain," Zara explained helpfully. Though I suppose what constitutes minor pain might be relative, the class was in complete shock. Several students had fainted. The Beatrian next to Zara's former seat had retreated to the far side of the amphitheater and was desperately trying to contact what appeared to be his therapist. "How?" Vex-Thalan gasped between waves of agony. "How is this possible? Your bone density readings, your muscle fiber analysis, the structural engineering reports." Zara looked genuinely puzzled. "Oh, you mean our medical data?" "Yeah, that's all taken when we're relaxed. Nobody ever thought to mention that we can voluntarily increase our bone density and muscle efficiency when we need to. It's just basic survival stuff from Earth." "Basic survival?" "Well, yeah. On Earth, pretty much everything tries to kill you from the moment you're born. The weather, the animals, the plants, the bacteria, even the water if you're not careful. We had to develop some adaptations." A Drakmarian student, who had been recording everything, shakily raised his claw. What kind of adaptations?" Zara tilted her head thoughtfully. "Oh, you know. Voluntary control over adrenaline production, temporary bone density increases, selective muscle fiber enhancement, pain suppression, enhanced healing, improved reaction times under stress, tactical analysis acceleration, basic stuff." "Basic stuff?" Vex-Thalan's voice cracked again. "Those are military augmentations that take decades of technological enhancement to achieve." "Really?" Zara looked genuinely surprised. "We just call it getting motivated. Anyway, Professor, you should probably get that arm looked at. I think I might have damaged your hydraulic systems." As medical personnel finally arrived to treat the screaming professor, Zara quietly gathered her notes and headed toward the exit. The entire class watched her leave in stunned silence. "Oh, She called back over her shoulder, "For tomorrow's lesson on defensive capabilities, you might want to update your database. Earth isn't just a Class-12 Deathworld. We're actually the only planet in the galaxy where the dominant species had to evolve to survive the planet itself and everything else living on it." She paused at the door, smiling that unsettling human smile again. Class dismissed. News of the incident spread through the Galactic Defense Institute faster than a quantum transmission burst. Within hours, every military academy, research facility, and defense contractor in the sector had received detailed reports about the human female who had casually destroyed a reinforced Chronaxian limb without even standing up. Admiral Keth-Voss, the Institute's commanding officer and a veteran of 43 major galactic conflicts, sat in his office reviewing the security footage for the 17th time. His 6 tentacles writhed with nervous energy as he watched Zara Wilde's impossibly gentle grip reduce advanced military-grade biotechnology to scrap metal. "Computer, analyze the human's grip pressure during the incident," he commanded. "Analysis complete, Admiral." The human applied approximately 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch for 1.7 seconds. This reading is inconsistent with previous human strength assessments by a factor of 12. Admiral Keth-Voss's main eye twitched. "Computer, access all human combat data from the Zephyrian War." "Accessing." "Admiral, there appears to be a significant discrepancy in our records. Human combat effectiveness ratings show multiple impossible statistical anomalies." "Define impossible." "Human soldiers demonstrated survival rates that exceed mathematical probability. Individual units displayed tactical adaptability that surpasses our most advanced AI systems. Recovery times from injuries that should have been fatal averaged 72 hours. The Admiral's tentacles went completely still. In 43 wars, he had never encountered a species with recovery rates like that. Even the legendary Chronaxian berserkers required weeks to heal from serious wounds. "Computer, what is the current location of the human student?" "Zara Wilde is currently in Medical Bay 7, visiting Professor Vex-Thalan." Admiral Keth-Voss made a decision that would either advance his career or end it spectacularly. "Security detail to Medical Bay 7. Do not engage. Observe only." Meanwhile, in Medical Bay 7, Professor Vex-Thalan was discovering that human medicine was apparently designed by sadistic lunatics. The medical staff had administered what they considered appropriate pain relief for his species, but Zara had insisted on providing human-grade painkillers as an apology. "I still cannot comprehend how you did that," Vex-Thalan muttered, his arm now encased in a regeneration matrix that would take weeks to complete the healing process. "The physics alone should be impossible." Zara was sitting in the visitor's chair, looking genuinely apologetic. "I keep telling you, it's just basic Earth stuff. We call it fight or flight response, but that's not really accurate. It's more like fight, flight, or completely lose your mind and become temporarily superhuman." "Temporarily superhuman?" "Yeah, our bodies can basically override all safety limitations when we're in real danger. Pain suppression, strength multiplication, enhanced reflexes, tactical analysis acceleration, healing boost, sensory enhancement, the whole package. We evolved it because everything on Earth was constantly trying to murder us." Dr. Yithmala, the Voltaran medical officer, looked up from her readings. "Young human, what you're describing sounds like the biological augmentations we use for elite special forces units. Those require surgical implants and years of conditioning." "Oh, we have surgical implants too," Zara said casually. "But those are just for fun. Our natural capabilities are pretty much standard equipment." Dr. Yithmala's scaly hands trembled slightly. What do you mean by surgical implants for fun?" Zara rolled up her sleeve, revealing what looked like a normal human arm. Then she pressed something, and suddenly her forearm transformed into what could only be described as a multi-tool from hell. Blades extended, scanning devices activated, and several components that seemed to violate multiple laws of physics began humming with energy. "Basic exploration gear," she explained. Most humans get their first military-grade augmentations around age 16. It's like a coming-of-age thing. Mine has GPS, communication array, emergency medical kit, plasma cutter, grappling hook, atmospheric analyzer, and a really good music player. Professor Vex-Thalan made a noise that sounded like a dying whale. Age 16? You give military-grade augmentations to children? Well, yeah. Earth's dangerous. Kids need protection. Zara's arm returned to normal appearance. Plus, it's fun for birthday parties. The medical bay's doors slid open, and Admiral Keth-Voss entered with his security detail. The Admiral was impressive even by galactic standards, standing nearly 12 feet tall with command presence that could intimidate a black hole. Miss Wilde, he said formally. I am Admiral Keth-Voss. I believe we need to discuss your species' military capabilities. Zara looked confused. My military capabilities? I'm just a student, sir. I'm here studying xenobiology because I want to be a veterinarian. A veterinarian? Yeah, I want to help take care of alien animals. Some of them are so cute. Like those little Beatrian fluff balls, or the singing crystals from Altair 9. Admiral Keth-Voss's tentacles began twitching again. A species that considered military-grade augmentations normal for teenagers and produced individuals who could casually destroy advanced technology while pursuing careers in animal care. Miss Wilde, according to our records, Earth is classified as a Class 7 environment. However, you claim it's a Class-12 Deathworld. Can you explain this discrepancy? Zara's expression became thoughtful. Oh, that's probably because of the evaluation protocols. When the Galactic survey team visited Earth, humans didn't want to seem scary, so we made sure they only saw the safe parts. The safe parts? Yeah, like Australia. Dr. Yithmala, who had been quietly running medical scans, suddenly went very still. Did you just say Australia was one of the safe parts of your planet? Well, relatively safe. I mean, sure, everything there tries to kill you, but at least it's honest about it. It's not like the Amazon where the plants pretend to be friendly before they eat you. Or Antarctica where the cold tries to murder you while you're sleeping. Or the ocean where literally everything is either poisonous, has more teeth than should be mathematically possible, or both. Admiral Keth-Voss was beginning to understand why the Zephyrian Empire had surrendered so quickly. Miss Wilde, what exactly do humans consider dangerous? Oh, you know. Black holes, supernovas, reality-warping cosmic entities, the usual stuff. Most planets are pretty boring, honestly. Like, where's the challenge in a world where the apex predators don't have laser eyes or the ability to phase through solid matter? Laser eyes? Professor Vex-Thalan whispered from his medical bed. Yeah, sharks back home evolved bioluminescent targeting systems about 50,000 years ago. Really keeps you on your toes when you're swimming. Though the teleporting bears are probably more dangerous overall. The room fell completely silent except for the gentle humming of medical equipment and the sound of Admiral Keth-Voss having what appeared to be an existential crisis. Teleporting bears? Dr. Yithmala asked weakly. Oh, they don't actually teleport. They just move so fast through forest undergrowth that it seems like teleportation. Plus, they've evolved active camouflage, so they're basically invisible until they want to introduce themselves. Which they usually do by trying to give you a really aggressive hug. Zara paused, noticing the expressions around her. Are you guys okay? You all look a little pale. Well, except for Dr. Yithmala, who's turning that interesting shade of green. Admiral Keth-Voss straightened his posture, drawing on decades of military command experience. Miss Wilde, I think it's time we had a serious conversation about Earth's actual classification and what that means for galactic defense protocols. Zara brightened up. Oh, cool. Are you going to upgrade Earth's tourism rating? Because honestly, Class 7 was way too generous. Most humans think other planets are kind of boring because nothing tries to kill you every 5 minutes. Tourism rating? Yeah. Earth could be a great adventure destination for other species. Well, maybe not the deep ocean zones. Or the polar regions. Or the deserts. Or anywhere with active geology. Or the forests. Actually, maybe we should start with guided tours of our safer cities. What makes a city safe by human standards? Admiral Keth-Voss asked, though he was beginning to suspect he didn't want to know the answer. Oh, you know. Basic stuff. Less than 50 dangerous animal species per square kilometer, minimal deadly weather patterns, mostly non-sentient plant life, and decent hospitals in case someone gets eaten by something. Professor Vex-Thalan made another whale noise. Zara looked genuinely concerned. Professor, are you sure you don't want some of our pain medication? I have some extra strength stuff that we use for headaches caused by temporal paradoxes. Temporal paradoxes give you headaches? Well, yeah. Time travel is pretty common on Earth. Nothing serious, just weekend trips to fix minor historical problems or visit relatives in the past. Though you do need to be careful about accidentally creating alternate timelines. The paperwork is terrible. Admiral Keth-Voss realized that everything the Galactic Defense Institute thought they knew about humans was not just wrong, but catastrophically, dangerously wrong. They weren't dealing with a primitive species that had gotten lucky against the Zephyrians. They were dealing with a species so naturally dangerous that they considered time travel a casual weekend activity and military-grade augmentations appropriate birthday gifts for children, and this particular human was studying to become a veterinarian because she thought alien animals were cute. Miss Wilde, he said carefully, I think we need to completely re-evaluate Earth's planetary classification. That sounds great. Zara smiled that unsettling human smile again. I'll call my mom and ask her to send some tourism brochures. Just, maybe start with the virtual reality versions first. We learned from previous incidents that direct exposure can be a little intense for other species. As Admiral Keth-Voss contemplated the implications of a species that considered Australia a safe tourist destination, he realized that the galaxy's understanding of human capabilities wasn't just incomplete. It was about to become everyone else's problem.